I want to blame Art of Rally for this. That's a top-down rally racer that you could easily mistake for a phone game, except that it has mechanics which are far too complex to be conquered by mere poking at a phone screen. But the truth is that my love of top-down racing goes way back to before the Art of Rally devs were even born. Super Off-Road was amazing on my Amiga 500 back in the day, and even in the modern era I managed to get hooked on games like Mantis Burn Racing for a while. Top-down arcade races are certainly a guilty pleasure of mine, but a phone game? Rush Rally Origins just might be stretching my love of the genre a bit too far. When Rush Rally Origins first popped up on my Steam page, I thought, that looks cool. And with positive reviews and a cheap price, I thought, yeah, why not? I gave it a go. But it took me all of about 5 minutes of play before I was regretting my life choices. The graphics, the sound, the physics, all terrible. I shelved the game, pondering asking for a refund. But before I did that, I thought, I need to give this game a proper chance. And I'm glad I did. Kind of. What I initially hated about this game was how basic everything is. You start up the game to a basic menu, enter basic time trial rally championships with basic cars on basic looking tracks. Even the physics are simplistic. Cars understeer till you hit the brake and trigger the drift mechanic, then they drift. You don't even get to turn off automatic gears as far as I can tell. It's all pretty standard stuff, and frankly, I can see how many might find this boring. But to my surprise, I wasn't actually bored. I found myself playing longer than I expected, just zoning out and drifting around the turns. That basic nature can work for this game, and it starts with the physics. If you're used to playing sim races or even something like Art of Rally, you'll be used to counter-steering. This is when you let the tail of the car go out in one direction, and to stop the car totally spinning out, you steer just enough in the opposite direction. The tricky bit is coming out of the corner and catching it just right so you don't spin again. It's easy to overcorrect a slide to countersteer too much and send the car into a spin. It can make racing an intense, focus-draining effort. But in Rush Rally Origins, the game takes care of this for you. By some magic, you always seem to come out of a slide straight. No need for correcting at all. It's hard to actually lose control of a car in this game, and when you combine this with the arrows on track telling you where to go, it's easy to just switch your brain off and relax for a bit at the wheel. The only thing mildly complicated about this game is the drifting physics. It's not that it's difficult to drift, it's that there is this strange boost of speed when you kick the car sideways while maintaining full throttle. You don't need to worry if that speed boost is too much though, because damage to your car is only cosmetic and taking out some scenery is always really satisfying. At most, you might lose a few positions to the AI. And that brings us to the AI themselves. You will compete against their simulated times in championship mode, but in the race mode you get to race against them for real. They're not mindless drones either. They don't follow the same line, but they aren't above driving into you like you don't exist either. Then, at the end of any event, if you have driven for long enough, you get to upgrade your car stats by a bar or two. But honestly, I think the developers just threw this aspect in there because it's expected. It really adds nothing to the game. This being a phone release among other platforms means it's never going to win any beauty contests. You will notice repeated textures everywhere and only the most basic of track models and effects. Granted, it does run at over 700 frames per second on my PC and does so with less level of detail pop than Forza Horizon 5 does, but I still wish it looked significantly better. At least I have rain and snow, which is more than you can say for most racing sims. The sound though, they've definitely turned up the vacuum to 11. When I break it down, I can't find many positive things to say about this game. Taken as a whole, I did enjoy my time throwing these little trademark infringing machines around, but I was playing because I wanted to review the game, and that's not quite the right mindset to have. The best question is, will I keep playing Rush Rally Origins? No, absolutely not. The problem is that the only part of this game that lives in a vacuum is the engine noise. In a world where I can boot up Art of Rally or Circuit Superstars, Rush Rally Origins just isn't special enough to stand out. There isn't a single thing it does better than the competition, and just because you can have fun playing it, doesn't mean that you wouldn't be having more fun playing something else. 20 years ago this game would have been amazing, but even retro racers need to move with the times.